Have you ever really looked at a leaf? I mean, it's so easy to just see it as a little green thing on a branch, but what if I told you it's one of the most sophisticated, self-contained engines on the entire planet? Well, today we're going to crack it open and look inside this tiny green powerhouse. To really get it, let's stop thinking of a leaf as just, a leaf. Let's think of it as a perfect solar-powered factory. It takes in the simplest raw materials, literally air and water, and uses sunlight to cook up fuel for the entire plant. So the big question is, how on earth is it designed to do this so perfectly?
All right, any good factory tour has to start at the front door.
So first, we're going to look at the leaf's exterior, which, when you think about it, is basically nature's most advanced solar panel. We all know that classic leaf shape, right? It's broad, it's flat. But that's not by accident. This form is an absolutely brilliant piece of design, and it's engineered for one primary purpose: to capture its raw materials with just, maximum efficiency. And this design has two incredible features going for it. First, that large surface area, it's like a giant net, soaking up as much sunlight as it possibly can. And second, the fact that it's so thin is absolutely crucial. It creates the shortest possible commute for carbon dioxide to get from the outside air into the cells inside where all the action happens. So the factory's exterior is perfectly designed for collecting stuff. Got it. But what happens once those raw materials actually make it inside? Let's go take a look at the assembly line. Okay, now we're zooming in. We are heading inside the green engine to see the factory floor, and this is where the real work gets done. Think of this diagram here as our blueprint. When you slice a leaf open, it reveals these beautifully organized layers. You've got the outer skin, the epidermis, and then tucked underneath, you've got these dense internal layers called the mesophyll. This is where the magic of photosynthesis truly happens. Now, the most important layer is sitting right there at the top, the Palisade mesophyll. You can think of these cells as the factory's main assembly line. They're shaped like columns, and they are packed in there super tight, all to intercept as much sunlight as possible. And inside them, they're just loaded with chloroplasts, the little green machines that actually do the heavy lifting. Just below that main assembly line, you'll find the spongy mesophyll. This layer, it's like the factory's ventilation system. The cells here are all loosely packed, which creates these huge air pockets between them. And that design is so important. It lets carbon dioxide just circulate freely and get to all those hard-working Palisade cells up above. And this slide is where it gets really cool. On the left, you see our nice, clean diagram. And on the right, that's the real deal, an actual image from a microscope. You can clearly see those tightly packed Palisade cells right on top and that airy, spongy layer down below. It's just as organized in real life as it looks in the textbook. Pretty amazing. Okay, so we've seen the factory floor, but every single factory needs a shipping and receiving department, right? You gotta get supplies in and send the finished products out. So how in the world does a leaf handle its logistics? Well, it all comes down to the veins, the plumbing of the whole operation. What we call veins are technically known as vascular bundles, and this network is the factory's entire life support system. And this plumbing system has two main pipes. First, you've got the xylem. Think of it like the water main, pulling water and minerals all the way up from the roots into the leaf. Then you've got the phloem. That's the outbound conveyor belt. It takes all those finished sugars that the leaf just made and ships them out to the rest of the plant for energy. And this whole process of shipping the sugars around has a pretty cool technical name. It's called translocation. It is the absolutely critical step that makes sure the power being generated in this little factory actually gets delivered to the whole plant. So water comes in and sugar goes out. Okay, but what about that other key ingredient we talked about, carbon dioxide? How does a gas from the atmosphere get past the leaf's security and onto the factory floor? Well, the journey is surprisingly simple, and it happens in 3 steps. First, CO2 just slips through these tiny little gateways on the leaf's surface called stomata. From there, it circulates freely through all those airy corridors of the spongy mesophyll. And finally, it arrives at a Palisade cell ready to be put to work on the assembly line. Let's look a little closer at those gateways. Each one of those pores, or a stoma, is controlled by 2 special cells called guard cells. And they pretty much function like automatic doors. They open up to let the carbon dioxide in, but they'll snap shut if the plant is getting thirsty and needs to hold on to its water. It's just a brilliant system for balancing making food with staying hydrated. So let's put it all together. We've toured the solar panel exterior, we've walked the factory floor, and we've checked out the shipping network. Now let's see how all these pieces combine to create the perfect photosynthesis machine. So let's just recap all these brilliant adaptations. You've got a transparent skin on top to let the light through. You've got a waxy coat to keep water from escaping. You've got those tightly packed cells to maximize production, and the airy spaces below to let the gases flow. A whole network of veins handles transport, and these intelligent little pores act as gateways. Every single feature has a job to do. And that's the real genius here. A leaf isn't just a collection of clever parts. It's a perfectly integrated system where every single component works in harmony toward one incredible goal, turning pure sunlight into life itself. So the next time you see a tree, just remember it's not just a tree. It is covered in millions of these tiny, intricate factories, all working away in silence. It kind of makes you wonder, what other marvels of nature's engineering are we overlooking every single day? Have you